What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Build. It's welcome to the brand new suite. It's Finish Strong Friday. What do we do on Friday? Y'all know what we do. It does not matter what we got going on. We finish strong. I just finished my walk. Finish that strong. I got other work to do today to finish strong. Whatever is on your plate, you must finish today. And it's Purple Friday. Yes, Purple Friday is back because it's football season. The Ravens don't play until tomorrow for the preseason. So, but it's still Purple Friday. So let's go, Ravens. That will be my fun for this weekend, watching a whole bunch of football, a whole lot of football, including the Ravens. So anyway, y'all know what we've been doing all this week, all this month. This is national, for those that may not know or be aware, this is National Black Business Month. And I didn't want to do the regular support black businesses or anything like that. What I wanted to do was to pour into entrepreneurs, leaders, organizations, in order to be able to have you to understand the importance of one, entrepreneurship, but owning your legacy. So we've been having these what I call conversations that entrepreneurs are not having. So every month, every week, this month we have a different theme, and then within that week we have different topics that we're dealing with. This week we've been talking about the barbershop boardroom, and this is 5 conversations every entrepreneur must have. And I'll give you a little recap at the end. But for those that, if you missed any of these, you can go over to the YouTube channel. They're all right there for you to be able to listen to, and to be able to watch, and to be able to hear. Because I give you a challenge. It isn't about how usually I'll say homework, but this month I'm giving you a challenge each and every day. And then we have the 31-day challenge that I do in the afternoon. So join me this afternoon, later on this afternoon, and maybe around 3 o'clock or so, that I'm going to do the 31-day challenge that we're in. This is day 21 of the 31-day challenge. So let's hop into this, the brand new suite for today. And what we're talking about today is the legacy conversation. And all week we've had the conversations that we need to have. Today is the legacy conversation. And here's what I'm going to say to you. What are you actually building? What are we actually building as an entrepreneur, as an organization? What are we actually building? This is where this entire week kind of lands. What are we building? What are we doing this for? What's the purpose? It's not about followers. It's not about the applause. It's not about the likes. It's not about simply revenue. And it's not about what survives us. It's about what survives us as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as organizations. And I want you to have the conversation with you, family, with your partner that you're in with your spouse. These are conversations that you got to have, and I want you to think about this. This is why we're doing this, because I want you thinking about ownership beyond you. You should be thinking about, are you going to leave the business to a child that you have, a family member, a spouse? Who are you going to leave? What does the next ownership look like? I mentioned to you earlier this week about the Los Angeles Lakers and Dr. Buss. When Dr. Buss bought the Lakers back in the late 70s, I believe it was, he ran the organization, and he groomed his daughter, who took over the organization, Jeannie Buss. And then her brother was a part of the organization, but she was the one that was the president of the organization, and I'm sure he left that to her. But that he had an idea of what the ownership looked like. He decided who was best to run the business and continue it. That's where the family comes in. You got to have these conversations with your family. What is your relationship as far as the business look like in the community, and what does it look like? Many of you, and this is one of the most important things I hope you heard this week, this year, this month, about succession planning. You must have a succession plan. What is your succession plan? If you don't come away with anything this month, you must have a succession plan. Put a succession plan together. That's something that we'll assist you with. We'll sit down and talk about your vision. We'll talk about what does that succession plan look like for you. Your your intellectual property, generational wealth. What does that look like for you? Define it for you. The leadership development. Are you developing the next leader, the next leaders in your organization? And whether your business is building something the next generation can actually inherit. And the reason I say it, because you gotta understand, is it an asset or is it a liability that you're leaving them? Here's the question that I want you to take. If the next generation inherited your business today, if it inherited today, would they inherit an asset or an opportunity or a burden? Which one, which of those three are you building for them? You decide, you have to evaluate that. I can't do it. No one else can do it but you. You have to evaluate that. And here's the challenge that I have for you today. I want you to write one sentence and then completing this statement. And I want you to write this down. I need you to write it down. The legacy my business is the legacy my business is being built to leave is, I want you to complete that sentence. The legacy my business is leaving, the legacy my business is being built to leave is what? I want you to answer that today. That's our finish strong statement for today. I'm gonna read it one more time. The legacy my business is being built to leave is, and you got to answer that. And here's the thing. All week we've been talking about the barbershop boardroom, right? Here's the thing about this and what I wanted to create with this. It becomes powerful. The boardroom, the barbershop boardroom is powerful because what it has allowed us to do, and hopefully you got this out of that. And if you had put, I want you to give me a put in the comments, boardroom. I want you to put in the boardroom. The boardroom is where we discuss the business. That's what we should discuss. But the barbershop is where we tell the truth about the business. Y'all know, if you like me growing up, you went to the barbershop. It was where it was no holds barred. You talked about any and everything in the barbershop. There was nobody was protected in the barbershop. But that's the first thing. The boardroom is where we discuss the business. The barbershop is where we tell the truth about the business. And so with that, we talked about this week, or this month, week 1, we talked about the hidden tax. We exposed what entrepreneurship is costing us. This is what we've discovered this month. Now, week number 2, which last week, the opportunity gap. We talked about the opportunity gap. That exposed what entrepreneurs may be overlooking. What are we overlooking? What do we need to see? Where are our blind spots? And then this week, the barbershop boardroom, hopefully it gets you as an entrepreneur talking about issues that we often discuss privately, but rarely address strategically. The truth, we talked about truth, we talked about money, we talked about succession, we talked about asset access, and then we talked about legacy. That was today. And so hopefully these conversations, this conversations this week, will lead you to, and like I said, one of the ones that I wanted to emphasize was the succession conversation, because we need and must have that conversation. And here's how I want to close this week out. I want you to take the conversation beyond simply how do I grow my business, and I want you to take it into what am I building, who am I building it with, and what happens after me. So we're going from, hopefully this week we moved you from how do I grow my business to into now talking about having the conversation about what am I building, who am I building it with, and what happens after me. That's what all of this is about. That's what this month, these conversations that entrepreneurs have to have, must have, is all about for you all. I told you by the end of this month, we're taking you to what? Equipping you to master your craft, your industry, and the marketplace. All for you to be able to own your legacy. I want you to own your legacy. And to own your legacy means that you've mastered those three things that I just talked about at an elite level, because I promise you, if you master those at an elite level, you are prepared to for a bigger stage, and to a bigger stage and a broader audience. This is the this is the impact builder. Hopefully y'all get this, and hopefully y'all getting something from this. We'll talk to you all on Monday, and as I always say on Fridays, do something fun this weekend for you. It's your boy. We'll see you on Monday right back here. Go Ravens. Peace.